Welcome to the Ludus Colony. I'm Colonel Mustard. We are playing the Stanley Parable. And, yeah, the Stanley Parable 2, as it now is, thanks to some new content last time. Now, this time I'm absolutely determined to finish off this series by finding the two endings. Are you going to work or not? Finding the two endings that have been eluding me for several videos because I was so easily led astray by the shiny new content. So I swear this game was made with the express purpose of tormenting completionists.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Now I've got to...
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a
I'm not picking up the bucket again. I've got to try and remember what the two endings I was looking for were. Yeah, one of them was to the right. Trying to sprint again. Basically, the very first ending that I got, that's where I'm heading, to the room with the phone. This time I'm going to actually answer the phone and see what happens. Instead of being recalcitrant and unplug. Hold on, that...
I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you.
That's clearly a thing over there, isn't it? Oh, it's a collectible.
Someone you've been neglecting, Stanley.
And a
someone you've forgotten about.
air vent?
Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now,
I'm not going for the collectibles.
I'm asking for her.
He's already told me you don't get anything for it, which may be a lie. I don't trust this man.
Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside.
Okay, so something about her.
Back into your life.
Who is her?
Been waiting. That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
Okay, last time I unplugged it. This time I'm going to answer it. .427.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife? They want to commit their life to you. I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
Trying to get me to see that you're a prick. That was mean.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Oh. Good morning, employee 427. Press J on your keyboard. All right then.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
I know how that feels.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
I press J again. No, nothing happened. All right, fine.
But in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful, and each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
Was that just there before? Or am I an idiot?
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
Spend time with the boys.
So he went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
Not seeing any boys. I was expecting to crack open a cold one or something. I feel like the kind of person who would say spend some time with the boys would also say crack open a cold one. Prepare dinner.
As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
Would he be saying all these things if I hadn't had those endings already, I wonder? Don't know. Have no way. Well, I do have a way of finding out, but not right now, I don't. Press Y to tell your kids a story.
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time. But there is no answer. How could there possibly be?
Oh,
In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one.
Press the Z to go to sleep.
And
I feel like I might already be asleep.
That in this world he can never be anything but an observer. That as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Oh no, do I disobey the screen or the narrator? Disobey the narrator.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
Press I to question nothing. Do I have a choice? Is it just pretending to give me a choice? Yeah. Okay.
I suppose I can't. Not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time.
Wouldn't get your hopes up.
And I tried again.
Please don't. Wow.
Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again. And Stanley pushed a button.
Please die.
And I tried.
That's... I think Stanley might just have obliged. Well, that's dark. Okay, well. That's the end of Stanley. Or is it because we're back here? Is he fantasizing again?
All of his co-workers were gone.
Okay, right.
Decided to go to the meeting.
So there was no wife.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Right. What was I? I remember I wanted to go left, but oh yeah, the stairs. I want to go downstairs. Oh. How we can find them. Collectibles. Small floating objects have appeared across the office. We have to synergize our resources, fuck off, to ensure their retrieval. There are many questions. There was no memo from management. I can tell you spotted one. What makes them float in the air? Who took these pictures of them? All valid questions. Oh, there's one in the boss's bathroom there. Follow clues provided by employee 416. We can do it. Red room. I'm not. Thank you. I'm not doing it. part of me wants to go and see if there's one in the boss's bathroom. But I'm not. I'm not doing it. I'm not going in the broom closet either. I'm going down these stairs.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Oh, no, he didn't. Nope. Collectible.
Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini-stands? Stanley figs. What about Stanlerines? Yes,
Stanlerines.
I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt.
Okay, so there's one on those boards in the warehouse area. There's probably one in the boss's toilet. And there's one in a red room, which, I mean, this could be a red room, but anyway.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy.
I mean, they demonstrably
And then
have.
something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all.
Hold on.
None of it made any logical sense.
Mm-hmm.
And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations.
I'm trapped in a doom loop.
Why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down?
This is
Why
a
did
question I've
doors
asked.
close automatically behind him wherever he went?
Also something I
And for
wondered.
that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So,
Yes, enjoy
he
this.
imagined himself flying.
Such
began
fun.
to gently float above the ground.
Oh.
Then
We're
he
flying.
imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still
like
not woken up.
Old window
How was he
screensaver.
remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking?
It's a valid question.
Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life.
Is Stanley having a
Now,
psychotic
hearing
break?
the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Not convinced you are, Stanley.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Stanley is out of his fucking tree.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy, this much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind.
That's
I
what
know
Stanley
what
thought.
is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
As a normal person would definitely do. Well then. That would appear to be that. I have found the two endings I was looking for, and well, I think I saved the most depressing ones till last. Because what was the first ending I got? The one where I skipped off merrily into flower-strewn meadows. So I got the happy ending first, and the unhappy endings last. Lovely. I'm not going to do any more because we'll be here for God knows how long. And I'm not going for those bloody collectibles, although I have a sneaking suspicion I won't be able to resist, and after I sign off I'm probably just going to scurry around and see if I can grab them, just to see what happens. If it's interesting, I'll include it in the video. If it isn't, I won't. But otherwise, I think that'll do us for the Stanley Parable. As I say, I know there are more endings I haven't found, but I have other games to play, damn it. Maybe I'll go and watch some other people doing Let's Plays. And I encourage you to do the same if you want to see more endings, because I read somewhere there are, I don't know, it's in double figures, it's like 20 odd or something. So yeah, go and watch someone else. Support your local Let's Player. In which spirit, feel free to subscribe if you want more of my nonsense. So, we're done. What are my thoughts on the Stanley Parable? Specifically the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe Edition, because I don't necessarily know what all the differences are from the original. I enjoyed it. It was entertaining, certainly creative in places. I enjoyed the piss-taking of various gaming cliches. The narrator did some sterling work. I think his sass really lifted the whole thing beyond what it would otherwise have been. He was the GLaDOS of the Stanley Parable. I'm sure if I were of the philosophical bent, I would have something to say about how the game approached the nature of choice in games and all that sort of thing, but that's all above my intellectual level, so I shall demur. If I had to criticise something, I did think some of the stuff expressly labelled new content through the new content door and subsequently the new content door, some of it was, if I'm honest, I thought a bit self-indulgent, and it dragged a little bit in places. I think there's a fine line between fan service and masturbation, and some of those areas did have the distinct odour of the teenager's bedroom about them. And a couple of the narrator monologues in that area also felt like they maybe went on a bit longer than necessary. Or, to be fair, that could just be because I'd already completed several endings by the time I got there, and I was kind of used to his shtick by that point. But the underlying game, very good. And it's impressive that it was made by just 2 people. In fact, I think I did read it originally started out as a Half-Life 2 mod made by just Davey Wreden, all by his lonesome. Meanwhile, there are studios just spaffing hundreds of millions, getting a cast of thousands to make games that turn out to be a big old pile of shite. So, too many cooks, etc. I'm glad this particular broth is largely unspoilt. So, to sum up, good game. And yeah, that'll do us. What am I going to play next? I'm actually not 100% sure at time of recording. Still trying to work that one out. Possibly something completely different. Possibly not. I'll see what I fancy. But in the meantime, thanks for watching, and until next time.